Wishing all students a very good morning. Today we will be doing the MCQs of Unit 3, Semester 1, Company Law. These MCQs are in English. A similar video will be put for the Hindi MCQs as well. So now we will begin without any further wastage of time. Uh, Most of these topics are easy. The capital of a company is divided into smaller units called, each unit is called a share. You know that the capital of a public limited company or a private limited, a company kind of organization is large. And this large capital cannot be contributed by one or two or a few persons, and hence the capital is divided into smaller portions, and each portion is called a share, and collectively the entire amount is called as share capital. So the correct answer here is shares. Now every shareholder is a part owner of the company because every shareholder contributes to the capital of a company. He becomes the owner, but he contributes only a part of the capital, and therefore every shareholder is only part owner of the company. This is a fill in the blank type of question. Now, the next one is the shares of a company in the hands of a shareholder signifies both the rights and the liabilities of the shareholder. This is a statement and it is true. When a shareholder holds the shares, he agrees to abide by the liabilities of the shareholder, and he also enjoys all the rights of a shareholder. So the buying of shares signifies that he has agreed to enjoy the rights and abide by the liabilities of the shareholder. Each share has a distinct number to distinguish it from another. This is also in the form of a statement and it is true. Every share is numbered, and that number distinguishes it from other shares. When these shares are demat, what we will be studying later on in this unit is the demat of shares. So when a shareholder goes for demat of his shares, at that time the share will not have a number, but it will only the number of shares that are held by the shareholder will be specified. Like if a shareholder is having 100 shares from serial number 5100 and so on, when the shares are demat, it will only be specified that the shareholder has 100 shares, and we will say that the shares are fungible. Now, share is a movable property and can be transferred. Yes, we know that. We had learned this right in the beginning when we were learning the characteristics of a company. Which of the following is not a type of capital? In your unit, you have to study the types of shares and the types of share capital. Remember that these are two different things. When we talk of the types of shares, we are talking about equity shares, preference shares, bonus shares, or sweat equity shares. And when we are talking of the types of share capital, what we are referring to is the authorized capital, issued capital, subscribed capital, called up capital, paid up capital, reserve capital, and so on. We know that the authorized, the nominal or the registered capital is the maximum capital that the company can issue during its lifetime. When a company begins its work, it does not require that amount authorized, which is the entire amount. It doesn't require so much of capital right in the initial stages. So it will issue to the public, or it will invite the public to buy only a part of that authorized capital, and that capital will be called issued capital. Now, out of the capital that is offered to the public, it is not essential that the public will come and buy everything. It may also happen that the public buys all of the capital that is offered, but how much ever the public are buying, that will be called the subscribed capital. Now we also know that the liability of a shareholder is limited only to the face value of the shares that he holds, and the company does not require the entire amount immediately. So it will call that amount in parts. Like let us say if the share is worth 10 rupees, then 2 rupees may be called on application, 2 rupees on allotment, and the remaining 6 rupees may be called in 2 calls of rupees 3 each or 3 calls of rupees 2 each. That will be the discretion of the company. So the amount that the company is asking the shareholders to pay is called the called up capital. Now, even if the company is asking the shareholders to pay, they may not pay the entire amount, and that amount will be called as the uh, paid up. How much ever the shareholders are paying is called the paid up capital, and what remains is the unpaid capital. And reserve capital is that part of capital that the company has kept aside to be used sometime in later in the event of a contingency. The last option you can see is share capital, and all these that we have read over here, issued, subscribed, called up, paid up, reserve, are types of share capital, except the last one, share capital, which will be the correct answer because you are asked which of the following is not a type of share capital. Next question. Dash do not enjoy any preferential rights in respect of payment of dividend or repayment of capital. What is given in the bracket is the correct answer. We know that the equity shares do not have any preferential rights in terms of payment of dividend or repayment of capital at the time of winding up of the company, and the correct answer is equity shares. Equity shareholders shares the prosperity as well as the risk of the company. The more the profit of the company, the greater the dividend offered to the shareholder. If the company is running into losses, the equity shareholder may be offered nothing at all. And hence, the equity shareholders have an equal share in the prosperity as well as the risk of the company. On the other hand, the preference shareholders have preferential treatment both in respect of receiving of the dividend as well as repayment of capital at the time of the winding up of the companies. They receive dividend at a fixed rate every year, and the ninth statement is true. Next, we have that preference shareholders have the right to vote on resolutions affecting their rights only. The rights of the preference shareholders are limited. They can vote only on those resolutions that affect their rights. This is true. Section 79A of the Companies Amendment Acts provide for sweat equity shares. This is also true. So what are sweat equity shares? Sweat equity shares are those shares that are given to the directors or the employees of the company as a reward or as an appreciation for the work that has been done by them. So sweat equity shares are given to the general public. This is false. They are given only to the directors or the rewards for their value addition or the work in appreciation of the work done by them. Sweat equity shares can be issued only after 1 year of commencement of business. There is a dash, and the correct answer is 1 year. Fully paid up shares issued out of profits or free reserves are called bonus shares. Those shares that are issued out of the profits or free reserves. Remember that this is a way of capitalization of the profits of the company. The company has some extra profits or some free reserves which it wishes to bring into business as capital. It can issue fully paid up shares for the same, and these are called bonus shares. Bonus shares are offered in proportion of the shareholding in the company. How many bonus shares will a shareholder get? He will get them in the proportion of the shares that he already holds in the company. So therefore, this is true. Issue of bonus shares implies capitalization of profit. Yes. Next question is, to encourage employees' participation in management, SEBI has implemented what? Fill in the blank. SEBI has implemented the employee stock option scheme from 1992 to encourage the employees' participation in the management. The next question is, shares issued under the employee stock option scheme shall not exceed how much of the paid up share capital? 5% of the paid up share capital. Section 81 of the Companies Act provides that before new shares are offered to the public, they should be first offered to the existing shareholder, and such a kind of issue is called a rights issue. Debt capital can be in the form of debentures, loans or deposits, which is true. A depository is a system in which shareholders hold shares in the form of an electronic account. There is a typing mistake. Shareholders do not share our heads, but they hold shares in an electronic account under the depository system. The shares are put in DMAT. DMAT means dematerialization. That is, the share will not have any material form. There will be no share certificate, there will be no share number, but it will be in an electronic form. It will be dematified, and therefore shareholders hold shares in the form of electronic accounts. And this is true. Next. Under the depository system, the transfer of securities take place without any physical movement of scrip. Whenever there is a transfer, that is the buying or the selling of securities, the securities, they are physically moved from the seller's place to the buyer's place. But when securities are in a demat form under the depository system, there will be no such movement of scrips, but there will only be journal entries in the ledger of the depository, and there will be no physical movement, and hence it is called script-less trading. So this is true, no physical movement, because there are no physical uh, what should I say, there are no physical securities to move. They are already in a demat form where they have lost all physical form and exist only as an entry in the ledger. And hence, even when they are bought and sold, there will only be entries in the ledger and no physical movement. Each depository should be registered with the SEBI, and this is true. Shares in depository shall be fungible, as we have already discussed. This is also true. They will not carry any particular number, but only the number of shares held by a person will be mentioned. Depository participants are agents of the depositories. This is true. Investors joining in the depository are first to register themselves with the depository participant. This is also true. Once the securities are dematerialized, they cannot be rematerialized. This is false. Even if securities are dematerialized, they can once again be brought into their physical form, and this will be called rematerialization of the securities. Currently, we have two depositories registered with the SEBI operating in India, and they are NSDL, National Security Depository Limited, and CSDL, Central Security Services India Limited. This is also true. All such shareholders whose name is registered or whose name is entered in the register of the member of the company are called members of the company. So, as you are aware, the company maintains a register of members of the company, and all those shareholders whose names appear here will be known as the members of the company. Then who is a shareholder? A shareholder is a person who will legally own the shares of the company. His name may or may not be present in the register of members of the company. This will happen when the original buyer or the original person, the person to whom the shares have been allotted to originally, sells his shares to another person. So the next question is regarding this. There is again a typing error here. A shareholder is a person who legally owns the shares. It is not chef offer, it is the shares of the company. He may or may not be a member. This is true. A foreigner, it is not a foreign, it is a foreigner can become a shareholder in the Indian companies subject to the provisions of FEMA. FEMA is Foreign Exchange Management Act, which is true. A person will be deemed to be a member of a company by estoppel. Estoppel means to be stopped. If he allows his name without any sufficient cause to be entered in the register of members of a company, if there is a person who allows his name to be entered into the register of members of the company without any sufficient cause, then he is stopped from denying, or he is deemed to be a member of the company by estoppel, which means that he is estopped or he is stopped from denying that he is a member of the company. He is deemed to be a member, and such a member will be known as a member by estoppel. Now, uh, transfer of shares is voluntary, but transmission takes place by operation of law. This is true. When a person sells his shares, it is an example of transfer of shares. When he sells the shares, he gives the shares and he gets something in return, and he does it out of his own free will. So, a sale of shares is an example of transfer of shares, which is correct. And a son inheriting his father's shares is an example of transmission of shares. When the legal heirs of a person get his shares, that will not happen out of anybody's will, but it will happen due to operation of the law of inheritance. And when such there is such a movement of shares from a father to a son by the law of inheritance, we will say it is an example of transmission of shares. So with this, we complete our unit 3 of semester 1 Companies Act MCQs, and I will meet you soon with the MCQs of unit 4. Until then, that's all from me. Bye bye. See you soon.